following is a presentation of the National Sim Racing League of America. Enjoy the race.
Room to wonder, open road, mile marker, cruise control, swerving headlights, passing cars, constellations, shooting stars, pedal to the metal and I'm feeling alright. Fire on the highway, music on the airwaves, head out the window, gonna feel the cool night. I'ma keep driving for the rest of my life.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 14 in season number 7 of the NRLOA Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Michigan International Speedway for the third crown jewel event of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This, the NRLOA 500, a 50-lap race around this 2-mile racetrack in Brooklyn, Michigan. And after the last crown jewel race we had at the Coca-Cola 600, Christian Vargas came home with the victory in that one. These drivers are ready to race another crown jewel race to get a victory here today. It's going to be tough. You got to beat 41 other drivers, but somebody will be in victory lane here in one of the biggest races of the season. And the interesting thing is, when I do these races, these NRLOA 500s, I don't really announce like it is a big race, but I'm going to try to do that today, and hopefully the guy alongside me can help me as well. Alongside Alex Bonchinor. And this race here in Michigan is a big one, especially for the NRLOA guys, and while it's one of the newest races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, it's still a big special event. So how aggressive do you think, especially the NRLOA guys, are going to be? You got Matt Delio, Jesse Turner, and Daniel McMillan on that team. Do you think they're going to be racing just a little bit more aggressively than the rest of the field?
Oh, without a doubt. I definitely see that happening. This is one of the more added crown jewels, and I think this is really going to be a great race. I think it's going to be awesome, and I have full faith in the NRLOA guys today to try and take home the checkered flag within at least either first, second, third, or in the top 5 for that matter.
And we do have 2 of the NRLOA drivers starting in the top 10, Matt Delio and Jesse Turner, especially Turner, looking to change his season around, and a win here today would definitely help him in the points standing. Speaking of the points, this is how they line up after the Coke 600. Brad Stover is the points leader. 396 points towards the championship after a win and a second-place finish. Those are his last 2 races here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's been doing a great job for Titan Fury Motorsports. John Stewart is 17 points behind. Cody Sill, 33 points behind. Roger Ray, 47 points behind. And Diego Yepes, 55 points behind coming into today's event. They're all in the chase right now. Cameron Garlington is on the outside looking in. I forget who's 12, but we got a lot of guys, a lot of veterans on the outside looking in. And this race tends to favor the veterans. The veterans are usually out front in this event, and even though the first 4 drivers starting in this race are rookies, we do got a lot of veterans starting past that, and there's a good chance a veteran will win here today. We're just going to have to find out. Let's go ahead, head trackside for the command, the fire, the engines, and the NRLOA 500. Race 14 of the season is about to get underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up for the 14th time this season. Fastest time yesterday in qualifying was the number 26 of Jordan Carter. He will start alongside the 48 machine of Roger Ray. But for this guy's rookies, Roger Ray doing a great job in the points this season. He's been in the top 5 in points practically the entire season for Zydell Motorsports. His teammate Andrew Miller will be starting in the 3rd position alongside Jonathan Wong. You got his best career finish in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series last weekend in the Coke 600. Defending NRLOA 500 champion Elijah Gordon will be starting alongside Blaine Keys, who I believe comes into this race last in the points. A win would mean so much for this team. Both of their teammates have won already this season. He wants to get Wade Enterprises their 4th win of the season. NRLOA Motorsports driver Matt Dallio looking to get his first win since Season 6 at Rockingham. He's alongside Justin Heath looking for his first career Napa fan win. And then how about this row? Ourselves Jesse Turner in the number 77 and Garrett Zenor in the 38. Two of the greatest drivers to ever race on Napa fan right there. They're both looking to turn their season around here today in the NRLOA 500. And of course, Jesse Turner driving for NRLOA Motorsports would love to get the win, considering this is the NRLOA race. So we got 4 rookies on the front row. But then beyond that, it's a lot of veterans, so we've seen a lot of rookies win lately. Do you think the veterans will turn it around here today?
Well, I think that for one, but also you got to think, is this race and is winning this race crucial to the championship hopes? Because Elijah Gordon won this last year, and he went on to win a championship. So is today crucial?
We'll have to see. It's 50 laps of racing here at Michigan. The draft will be majorly important, and so will pit stops. It's going to be a wild day. We're green flag racing in the NRLOA 500. Lap 1 will be led by Roger Ray from the outside pole. He got the jump on the start and drove right by Jordan Carter for the lead. Carter is running second, and here he comes Elijah Gordon, defending NRLOA 500 champion for third on Jonathan Wong, with help from Matt Dallio on the inside lane in the 79.
I was definitely saying earlier that I have good hope in the NRLOA guys today, and Matt Dallio really showing the performance right now in the number 79 Valvoline Dodge Charger.
He is. Got that run on the inside. He's holding on to the 3rd position right now. Top 3 have pulled away. Roger Ray, Jordan Carter, and Elijah Gordon. Matt Dallio trying to clear Patrick Smith for 4th, and he's easily got it on the rookie driver there. Andrew Miller trying to get a great run in the number 7. Both of his other teammates are currently in the chase right now, Roger Ray and Nicholas Samadio. And of course, Samadio winning the Indianapolis 250 last weekend. He's on a hot roll right now, looking to get something going here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He put himself in the chase in the Coke 600. Look at Garrett Zenor, 4 wide for position. And Jordan Carter is down the pit lane. An issue on the 26. The Durek Motor Racing driver is most likely going to get put a lap down, only unless a caution comes out here. Something amiss on the 26 machine.
That's very unfortunate for Jordan Carter today. He was bound to have a good performance in this point because, it's one of those things. It was a good qualifying effort for him. He started on pole, and unfortunately, he got caught up in this little incident right here. Let's hope that he can be able to continue.
Well, for the lead, they're 3 wide. Matt Dallio, Elijah Gordon, and Roger Ray. Dallio trying to take it on the number 5. You got Patrick Smith here as well. Gordon will lead lap number 4 here in the NRLOA 500. Here comes the 66 of Patrick Smith to the inside. We saw Garrett Zenor make that 4-wide move. Well, now he's up to 7th for American Motorsports. A great run for Garrett Zenor, trying to break a very long losing streak, been since Season 4 at Atlanta for him. And we've said that multiple times as well, and he wants us to stop saying that, and the best way for us to stop saying that is for him to finally get a win, and he's moving his way inside the top 5 as Patrick Smith has taken the lead away from Matt Dallio.
Yeah, this is really getting into a very hectic kind of style race pass-wise. I mean, you're looking at first, not really much, but second on back, it's an entire pack racing deal.
It is, and
it's really showing.
They're going to be like this all day long here in the NRLOA 500. This race does not usually see too many cautions either, so they're going to be green flag racing practically the entire run here, and it's going to come down to pit stops and just how well you run on the racetrack. Number 22 of Isaac Nichols is up here in the top 10. Stuart Grattan is fellow Aussie driver right there in the number 25. How about Ryan Kendall on the 67? That is Grattan's teammate. North State Racing has all three of their drivers in the top 10 right now, including their uncharted driver of Ryan Kendall. Great run for those guys here in the NRLOA 500. Jonathan Wong in second. William Brock, and I believe the yellow is out. Lap 7 of 50. Cameron Garlington with heavy rear end damage. There's John Stewart back in there. It looks like John Art got caught up in something in the 05, and maybe even Ace Garcia. And Garcia does have some damage in the 92. We did see Blaine Keys at the start of the race go 4 wide on the outside there. That did not work out too well for him. He fell back tremendously. It does appear that this was a minor accident. I don't see too many cars with heavy damage, but it's going to bring on our first caution of the race here in the NRLOA 500. Cameron Garlington with heavy damage for Titan Fury. Here they come down the pit lane.
And all this is going to focus around how good the pit stops are going to be for a lot of these drivers. And it all depends on what they're going to take. Are they going to take 4 tires, 2 tires, or just fuel? Here we go, onto the pit lane. Let's see who gets what.
It looks like, and I would assume most of these guys would take 4 tires here in Michigan, because this is one of those racetracks where tires mean quite a bit. But we'll have to see. Maybe Patrick Smith will play a little strategy and just go 2, and no, it looks like all these guys are going to take 4 tires here. But we'll see. I mean, we'd be able to tell if somebody just took 2, but it does not look like anybody did, and there goes Patrick Smith off the pit lane. He's going to get a great stop, and he will win the race off the pit lane. Jordan Carter in the 26 is a lap down. You see him coming out ahead of those guys, so he's not part of the battle. Great run for Matt Delio on the pit lane, running 3rd off the pit lane. William Brock and Isaac Nichols rounding out the top 5. Great runs for those guys on the pit lane, but everybody took 4 tires there, so not much of a strategy play this early on in the race here at Michigan. Anyways, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution here in the 2018 NRLOA 500. Well, Nicholas Samadio in the 24 is really feeling pretty good. He went 4 wide to the inside, and Nathan Stapleton, Jesse Turner back in this pack. They might have been slowed up a little bit by Jordan Carter, who did come down the pit lane earlier on in this thing. Stapleton reacts with Samadio going to his inside, moves Turner up. Turner gets in the Diego Yepes a little bit. Turner saves his car, however, because Cameron Garlington was there to spin around and save the accident from happening to the number 77. And it looks like the only driver involved in all this. You know what? I think Yepes might have been a cause for something, because they were going 5 wide there through the corner. I saw John Arnn and Ace Garcia with damage, but I honestly don't see anywhere where they would have gotten involved in something, because I do see 3 wide ahead of those guys, but I don't think any of those guys were involved in an accident. I mean, they did bump around. They did bump around. Turner went around in the 77. Did not see that. And you're going to see McMillan come down. He got into the 05. He spun around. And Diego Yepes as well. And the 92 also got squeezed on the outside with Justin Knight.
Whoa.
Blaine Keys there in the 64. Ran into Daniel McMillan. McMillan has quite a bit of damage. We did not see that initially, but that's a tough break for the NRLOA Motorsports driver there. This being the NRLOA 500, not what that team wanted for sure. And then this happened. So that's how Ace Garcia got his damage, and John Arndt, he just pushed him into the outside wall there. They got a little too close to each other and couldn't keep it off the wall.
I really can't explain how this kind of all went together and made this kind of cluster. My best explanation is caution initially came out, everyone just got hectic trying to race it back, and it just caused all of this debacle.
We did see that 5 wide with Diego Yepes on the outside, and I think that is truly what caused it, but I don't really get that 3 wide there with John Arndt, Justin Knight, and Ace Garcia.
Alright. Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like it was a little bit of fault also with Samadillo, just because his car was pushing up and everyone kind of had to check up after that, at least in the turn one. Turn two, though, I just feel like everyone got hectic and decided, that everything was just going to go everywhere as they were trying to race it back. And then here, I can't really explain. I don't know if Ace Garcia had a tire go down or John Art or someone, or
I'm
if
wondering.
they just got too close together.
I'm thinking that John Art might not have known there were two cars to his outside and thought that Justin Knight could move up there and didn't realize Ace Garcia was there. Another tough race for Ace Garcia, and John Art's starting to slip up a little bit in the 05. Not as bad as last season for him, but it's starting to slip a little bit for that 05 team. He had a great run going for him in the chase, but not going too well for him today. Anyways, Patrick Smith in the 66 is the leader. He will have JoJo Carter starting ahead of him a lap down, or on the tail end of the lead lap, I should say. So that'll be interesting. Let's go ahead and see what happens on the restart here in the NRLOA 500. We are back here at the NRLOA 500, one of the crown jewel races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series here at Michigan. And Patrick Smith, the rookie driver, is leading the field. Jonathan Wong had a great run at the Coca-Cola 600 last Saturday, and he's looking to add on to that great run he had here at Michigan. He's running second. Matt Dallio, haven't talked about him too much this season. He's in contention to get the win. And William Brock as well in the 88. Great run for him. With Isaac Nichols running fifth. And you have Ryan Kendall, uncharted driver, running sixth. Garrett Sonor, Stuart Gratton, Zachary Fitzwater, and how about Brad Stover? You just can't get away from him. Running 10th right now for Titan Fury Motorsports. Patrick Smith to the inside of JoJo Carter. He's going to put him back a lap down. Dallio got around Jonathan Wong. He's going to have his eyes set on the 66, and he actually might get it entering turn 3 here. Great run for the 79 on the inside.
Yeah, this is really getting interesting here in this race. I mean, just look at Matt Dallio go. He wants to get NRLOA Motorsports their win. He's kind of that lone driver at this point after being caught up in the incidents, or his teammates being caught up in the incidents that had ensued in that last caution.
He is, and he's trying to carry the team. We also got Micah Knapp out there for NRLOA Motorsports, driving the uncharted ride for this this race. I want to say race, I want to say weekend. My brain can't decide which word I want to say. That happens too much, I'm sorry. But Matt Dallio running second. William Brock, he's a guy who'd love a great run, and he's had a tough season so far for Beast Racing, but a win would definitely be welcome. He's only got one career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win, came in the Season 4 Coke 600, so it hasn't been as long as him as it has been for Garrett Sonor, but William Brock still would love to get a victory, especially after the tough season he has had. Matt Dallio would love to get the lead, trying to look to the inside of Patrick Smith, unable to do so. Smith will stay out front in the 66. And with that, William Brock's going to move to the inside of the 79 for second. How about North State Racing? I mentioned them earlier. They were all in the top 10. Well, now they're all in the top 6. Actually, not quite. Ryan Kendall just got shuffled out of line. Look at this cluster back in here. All over the place from about, I say, 8th on back. You got Isaac Nichols. And they're all trying to get around Jordan Carter here. Nathan Stapleton moving his way up. You got Justin Heath, Andrew Miller, Juan Garcia. Sam Medio's here as well. A lot of drivers who could possibly move their way through the field, especially if this thing stays green. Patrick Smith is trying to drive away from these guys in the 66. Now, Smith is one of those guys who probably feels like he should have won at Rockingham, but got a terrible finish, and he was battling with McMillan and Turner for the win over there. He wants a little redemption from that, and this being a big event as it is, this would be a great way to get your first career win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
And I do not doubt that in the slightest. Patrick Smith being the one that's running very good today, having the top performance of his career so far in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, at least one of those. I think he has the potential today. He has the speed, he has the momentum. It just depends on the right time where he can defend, and if he ever falls back, any time left to try and attack to get back to the front.
And another good sign for Patrick Smith is that his teammate is running very well as well. The caution is back out. Alexander Rowe this time in the 68 and Andrew Miller in the 7. And apparently that big cluster that we had couldn't really stay together too much longer without wrecking. Luke Rainey with damage in the 12. It's been a tough season for the Quintero Racing Incorporated driver. But it does appear that those are the only guys involved in this one, so another minor accident here in Michigan. Already our second caution of the race here in the NRLOA 500. Patrick Smith led every lap during that green flag run. It definitely shows the strength he has in his race car, no question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, just showing how it is and how he's running so far, I don't doubt the fact that he could potentially be the one to win this race today. I don't doubt it. But you have people like William Brock that's kind of running in second there. You have Matt Dalio, who's on a good roll on those restarts. I mean, just don't doubt it when the draft comes into play, how much powerful it'll be, and just out of nowhere.
Definitely. All these guys who are still, free of damage in this race still have a chance of winning this thing. I mean, you got Aaron Walpole running up there. You got Trey Bartow back in there. Those are guys who would love to get wins, especially after the tough seasons they have had. Patrick Smith will come down the pit lane first again. Garrett Sonor comes down fourth, and Stuart Gratton comes down third. Those are a couple of veterans who have been in every edition of this race, and in, I believe, every Chick-fil-A Cup Series race as well. And they're both on rather long losing streaks. It's been since Season 4 for Sonor, of course. For Gratton, it's been since Phoenix Season 5, and he's got his teammate running up front there. That is an advantage for Stuart Gratton, no question about it. We'll have to see what he can do. But how about Brad Stover up to third off the pit lane? You just can't stop this guy. He has been the most consistent guy all season, no question about it. And his last two runs have been first and second here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's now running third in the NRLOA 500 off the pit lane. Great run for the 99, but a great run for North State Racing. They're 1-2 right now here in the NRLOA 500, and they're going to restart that same exact way. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the second caution here at Michigan. 4 wide, our outside pole sitter, and our last winner in the middle of all this. And they were 4 wide behind them as well. This could have been a double accident. 4 wide off of turn 2 is difficult for these guys. And you're going to see Roger Ray move up into Andrew Miller just a little bit. And you're actually going to see Michael Canto run up into Alexander Rowe, push him into Nicholas Samedeo. This was a double accident. Andrew Miller went around off of Christian Vargas. Alexander Rowe went off on Luke Rainey there. And Nicholas Samedeo avoided this one in the 24. Great run for him there. Ryan Kendall got caught up in this one. He had a great run going for him as an uncharted driver right there.
Yeah, this was, for Nicholas Amedeo's sake, in the 24, he had one of the closest calls right there. Just, whew.
It was pretty close for the 24, but I think he'll be able to continue. The good thing about the accidents we have seen today, they have not been ultra-violent, so that's a good thing. But we still have had 2 of them, and probably 2 too many here in the NRLOA 500.
And it looks like 4 off the turn doesn't work well, and I'm not sure if they were 2 separate ones or if one was connected with the other.
They were actually 2 separate ones there, because Miller went around after Alexander Rowe went around, and Miller was ahead of the 68, so it was 2 separate accidents there, but 1 caution because of it.
Yeah, and it definitely is, and just the way the camera angle looked, it definitely looked like the separate accidents were combined into one, because it kind of just looked like something just went wrong out of nowhere. But yeah, it does seem to believe that if you look on another angle, it definitely looks like it was set, or it definitely was separate.
It definitely was. A tough break for those guys involved, especially Andrew Miller. He started up front for this race, and unfortunately for him, it does not look like he's going to do so at the end of the event. But Patrick Smith has been doing a great job. He's led the most laps so far. Let's see if he can lead them all here in the NRLOA 500. Probably not, though. That doesn't happen here in Michigan. We are back here at Michigan, ready for our second restart of the day in the NRLOA 500. Patrick Smith, the dominant guy of the day so far. North State Racing driver with his teammate right behind him, and Stuart Gratton. They're 1-2. Points leader, Brad Stover is third, looking for his second win of the season. William Brock, Isaac Nichols, Matt Dalio, Garrett Sonor, Harry Jalarb, and Alonzo Justin Heath. And how about Aaron Walpole in the top 10? He needs a turnaround, no doubt about it. We're back to racing in the NRLOA 500. Take a look and see who's gotten knocked out so far, and it's only been the 97 of Ryan Kendall. That's a tough break for him. John Stewart's a lap down in the 04. He's second in the points coming into this race, and of course, we saw JoJo Carter with his issue earlier on in the 26. Tough break for our pole sitter this time. I think Grattan and Stover might close right in on the 66. Grattan's going to try on the inside of his teammate. Will he get it? Entering 3. Yes, he will. Stuart Grattan to the point at the Michigan International Speedway. He takes it from his teammate Patrick Smith.
Yeah, it's Stuart Grattan that really wants to break that winless streak. Season 5 since he last won, and he wants to try and break that streak. But also, Napa fan, keep in mind, how many races or how many seasons has it been since Aaron Walpole has last won a race?
Well, it has been since Season 3, but given he was not in Season 4, Season 5, or Season 6, so it has been a while for Walpole, but he's not competed in every season like Grattan or Sonor, but still, it is a long losing streak nonetheless, and he wants to have a good season here, and a win would help him get that. It's been a tough one to start out for Walpole, but he, along with his teammate Garrett Sonor, both in the top 10 right now. We'll have to see if one of those guys can get it done. We're not even halfway through the NRLOA 500 yet. Stuart Grattan is leading with William Brock, Matt Dalio, Hairgel Larvin Alonzo. Last time you were in the booth, this guy won at Dover. And you got Justin Roberts making it an all-veteran top 5 here at Michigan.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the greatest events I seem to be. I seem to be a former NRLOA veteran myself. I say former because I'm not really running as much in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but being a veteran, I really love seeing these veterans that I used to compete against just running hard out here, trying to show that the young guns, they're good, but they don't have as much of the experience as the veterans do.
William Brock to the inside of Stuart Grattan for the lead. And he's a veteran that definitely wants a good run. He's had a tough season so far, and it's been deep in the points with that 88 most of the season, but a win changes all that and definitely gives you a new outlook on the rest of the season. How about Alonzo to the inside of Dalio and Grattan? Here comes Walpole in the 34. He's getting a good run, and he's got some help from his American Motorsports teammate. And boy, this 34, this 38 reminds me a lot of the good old 2013 Aaron's 499. Greatest NASCAR race I ever watched, by the way, when David Reagan won with help from his teammate David Gilliland. But they're going to go 4 wide as Justin Roberts is not having any of that. He's going to take it 4 wide for second. Oh boy, that's close.
Oh dear.
And I think they're going to keep it together, but that just shows the experience out of these guys. They know what they're doing, and they went 4 wide and kept it together. And you got Nicholas Amadeo rejoining this battle. And by the way, your win this season came at California, which is very similar to Michigan. And this is the guy you beat, Nicholas Amadeo. You're not in the race, so maybe he'll actually finish first here today. We're just going to have to see for the number 24. He comes into this race in the top 10 in points. He's got a good chance of staying there if he continues to run the way he is running here today. Nathan Stapleton. He is up to second as Stuart Grattan continues to run third. They're breaking away from the rest of the pack. Patrick Smith on the inside of Garrett Sonor and Justin Roberts. Matt Dalio still here in the 79. He's got help from Nicholas Amadeo. A lot of veterans looking to break some long losing streaks here today. We'll have to see who gets it done, but it's William Brock out front at the halfway point of the NRLOA 500.
Yeah, and just believe, how long has it been since William Brock has won an NRLOA race, at least in Chick-fil-A Cup Series competition, since we're speaking about the veterans?
Season 4 Coke 600. Was full-time that season, part-time in Season 5, did not race in Season 6, so like Walpole, he hasn't been around that much since his last win, but it's still been a long time, and William Brock would love to get it done, no question, especially after the season he has had.
Yeah, and I'm definitely seeing that, it's probably the good fortune for William Brock to win, but I also have the good fortune for people like Stuart Grattan, Nicholas Amadeo, a lot of these veterans that have had a long, dry spell of trying to get wins, and I really want to see that today, especially from Amadeo, considering the fact that this track is almost a good layout of Auto Club or California, and because of the fact of if I had not raced that, he would have won. I think I'm going to have some high expectations, at least in this latter part of the race, to see Amadeo try and manage to at least get a good run out of this one.
He's to the inside of Patrick Smith for fourth. He is clawing his way through the field very easily. Justin Heath in the 30 now. Talk about a dark horse in this one. You got two rookies in the top 10 right now. Actually, technically 3. I keep on forgetting Nathan Stapleton's a rookie. He's been around so long, I almost don't consider him a rookie. You got 3 rookies. But Stapleton doesn't really count in this equation. Actually, you got 4 because you got Patrick Smith. So what am I talking about? But either way, if you want a dark horse for this race, you got Justin Heath in the 30. He's never won before on Napa Fan, and here he is running 6th in the NRLOA 500 for Zach Ryan International. He got around Nicholas Samadia there, opened the hole for the 34. Jojo Carter's a lap down. I think he's still a lap down. He's trying to move his way through the field. And hey, where did he come from? Elijah Gordon in the top 10 now. Looking to win this race for 2 straight years. And this is going to be his last NRLOA 500 as well. In his home state of Michigan, he'd love to get the win the last time he comes here, no question.
Yeah, and I really hope that Elijah Gordon has the good chance to win today, especially for the fact of, as I said, he's one of those veterans, and while I do say that, his last chance at a victory probably wasn't even that long ago, considering he was champion, I give it the good chance that, getting one last NRLOA 500 would be pretty good. But as you mentioned before, the dark horse of Justin Heath, how would that be to see a rookie win the NRLOA 500 out of the blue, get his first one on Napa Fan? Not only just in any normal race, the NRLOA 500, one of the bigger Triple Crown events of the season.
The only time this event was won by a rookie, it was won by John Arndt at the time we had it at Spartan. All the Michigan NRLOA 500s have been won by veterans. Patrick Smith, Justin Heath, and Nathan Stapleton all looking to change that here today, but you got to get around Stuart Gretton. To the inside of William Brock for the lead, lap 30 of 50. And we've had a long enough green flag run here that we might soon be seeing green flag pit stops. So what we saw yesterday in the Turkey Hill Series race is that the guys who stayed out the longest got the best advantage. We saw that with Nicholas Wade, your teammate, by the way, getting the win yesterday. He came down later than everybody else, got it ahead of everybody else, and stayed ahead of the field to win the race. He started 39th, by the way. We'll have to see how it shakes out here. Green flag pit stops at the Michigan International Speedway. Justin Heath, Nicholas Samadio, Elijah Gordon, Brad Stover down the pit lane. And quite a few guys down the pit lane at that. It looks like we had 3 guys come down the lap before. Tristan Allen, Ace Garcia, and Daniel McMillan. Garcia and McMillan were involved in accidents earlier on in the event.
So yeah, I can see why they're coming down this early and all that, just to see if they can get their cars a little more fixed and get back on the track in no time.
Aaron Walpole's going to stay out here, and if yesterday's race is any telling sign, I should say. What am I trying to say? I don't know. Aaron Walpole could be the leader once this whole thing is said and done, because we saw yesterday those guys who stayed out the longest got the best advantage. It might not be the case today. We had a cloudy racetrack yesterday. It's a sunny one here today. Justin Heath, Nicholas Samadio, Brad Stover, Julio Caesar. How about Jay Jefferson? He'd love a good run here today for Durick Motor Racing. Of course, Jojo Carter had the issue in the 26 as the pole sitter. But Durick Motor Racing still has a little bit of hope there with Jay Jefferson, Justin Heath. They all got out about the same distance from each other. Elijah Gordon had a tough pit stop. He fell back. He's got Fitzwater all behind him there. And here comes Samadio to the inside of Justin Heath. Will this be for the lead? Or will it be Stuart Gratton?
I honestly think that there's a good chance that Stuart Gratton might take this win out of nowhere, because, I have that feeling, because there's the good chance and then there's the bad chance. But, I'm really hoping that a veteran wins today. And it's definitely going to be from a dry spell. Whether it be...
I think you're right. If one of these veterans wins, I mean, you got Sam Idio. He hasn't had too much of a dry spell. He didn't race last season. His last win was Pocono in Season 5. Hasn't been that bad for him. But for Gratton, he raced all last season, and he'd love to get the win. But Stapleton would love to get his second win of the season. But Walpole, look at what I said earlier on. The later you stay out, the better of an advantage you get, and I think Walpole it's going to be at least in the main draft here in that 34. He's going to have a chance at victory. It's Nathan Stapleton and Brad Stover, 1-2 here at Michigan. Couple of rookies, couple of winners already this season, but Walpole putting Stover to the test. He's to the inside there for second. Justin Heath and Nicholas Samadio. He came close to winning California, just couldn't beat you. He'd love to get this win here today. After all the momentum he has had, he's in the chase right now. He wants to stay in there, and the best way to do that is get the maximum amount of points, and you do that by winning the event. So for third, the 24 goes on Brad Stover. Stover falling back on the outside, got stuck up there, not good for the 99. But it is Nathan Stapleton out front of the 54. For Hamill Racing Enterprises, Aaron Walpole definitely got a good advantage there. He's second. Nicholas Samudio, Justin Heath, and Jay Jefferson running in the 5th position. That is a run I am sure he'll be happy about if he can make it stick at the end. But they're closing in for the lead here. Walpole trying to get around Nathan Stapleton. We have 15 laps to go at Michigan in the NRLOA 500. It's been a great race so far, and I'm hoping we can stay green to the end, or at least not have a caution during green flag pit stops. I've had enough of that crap. Let's just keep it clean, guys, okay? I would greatly appreciate it if you did so. I'm getting a little frustrated.
And I could definitely say right now that while Nathan Stapleton is out in front, and I think that's great, my money is on Aaron Walpole to take this win because, you know, he hasn't had the luck or hasn't been able to run as many recently. So to see him come back, that would be great. But, you know, there's many that I want to win.
Here is Jay Jefferson in the 16. Oh boy, I bet you his heart's pumping right now. He has not been up front at all this season. And here he is running third with a chance at victory. Walpole to the inside of Nathan Stapleton for the lead. They're closing in on Cameron Garlington, who was involved in the first accident. He's obviously a little bit slower than these guys, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Here comes Jefferson. Oh boy, right to the lead, to the inside of Walpole and Stapleton as they had trouble getting around Cameron Garlington. Goodbye, Jay Jefferson now out front here in the NRLOA 500 for Durick Motor Racing. What a move by the number 16.
And how much of a dark horse would you see to see Jay Jefferson win this race?
It would be something, but Walpole is still second. Julio Caesar out of nowhere. He's third right now in the 95, but you cannot count out Stuart Gratton and Nicholas Samudio or Brad Stover. Stover might be a rookie, but no question, he is a guy to beat, and we'll have to see what he can do. And the dark horse in this one, Justin Heath, is here as well, but another dark horse is definitely Julio Caesar. We really haven't seen much of him this season either. He's going to push Aaron Walpole to the inside of Jay Jefferson for the lead. They're side by side with 12 laps to go at Michigan.
This is really getting hectic down to the wire, and I can definitely say that with all this battling, Stuart Gratton is loving what he's seeing at the moment, trying to get to the front. He has a good chance to win this if these guys just keep battling.
We're just going to have to see. There will be one more pit stop in today's race, so it's not over yet there. And when those guys go side by side down the front stretch, the guy who's third usually gets the best run. Julio Caesar to the inside of Aaron Walpole and Jay Jefferson. And you saw Stuart Gratton close right in. Justin Roberts coming down the pit lane. Not entirely sure if that is a scheduled stop or not. Let me see here. He is 4 laps down. He has had an issue. Tough break for Justin Roberts. He was running up front at one point here today. Julio Caesar, Aaron Walpole now out front. Gratton trying to get to the inside of the 95. And look at Stover. He's already in 4th now. But Sam Adio's got the 3-wide move to the inside. We'll see if Gratton tries to make a move down low. He will to the inside of Julio Caesar. He'll get alongside him barely, but he won't be able to make it stick, and Caesar stays out front with 10 laps to go at Michigan.
And this is a very underdog move right here because, like you said before, we have not talked about Julio Caesar at all this season. To see him take the win as an underdog, that would be the most surprise thing to come out of nowhere.
Well, Walpole does not want that to happen, and he's got a long line of veterans behind him. Stuart Gratton, Nicholas Samudio back in here, Nathan Stapleton. Did somebody come down the pit lane? We'll have to see. No. So it looks like that pack did just in fact split up there a little bit. But there he goes. Stuart Gratton finally to the lead. He's been trying to take that lead for quite a while, and he's finally got it back in the number 25. Will Gratton get his first win of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series? His first win in quite some time. Of course, I don't think he holds the record for the longest losing streak anymore. That might actually go to Tristan Allen now. But Gratton once held the longest losing streak in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and it was in the Coca-Cola 600 Season 5 where he broke it. A prestige event just like this one. We'll see if Grattan can do it again here today, but he's going to have to hold off a Daytona 500 and Indy 250 champion Nicholas Samadeo. That's a tough task to handle. You handled it. What are you going to say to your driver, Stuart Grattan, if he's leading this race ahead of the 24?
I would definitely say keep a cool head, keep it consistent, and definitely be careful on these last rounds of pit stops. Let your crew be quick, and just get out there and just push to the end, because that's all you need to keep it through 2 and 2 and to the end.
Nicholas Samadeo is going to dive to the inside, but it's far from over here at the Michigan International Speedway. Like I said, we're still going to have another set of pit stops in this race, and they're going to come late here in the NRLOA 500. Samadeo takes it from Grattan, lap 44 of 50. Walpole's going to look to the inside of Grattan here. Walpole stayed out longer than anybody else into that last cycle, and this is the pit stop where you go gas and go, because we're only going to have a few laps to go until we get to the finish of this race. Now, Justin Roberts, he might be 4 laps down, but he's going faster than anybody else right now in that 83. He'll probably get the die-hard racer of the race here for the NRLOA 500, but unfortunately, he probably won't get too many points. Walpole to the inside of Grattan, trying to take second away. It's 6 laps to go in the NRLOA 500. Nicholas Samadeo is still out front in the number 24.
This is really getting interesting, and as I said before, Samadeo, I really want him to win just because of the fact of he came so close to California. Had it not been for me, he would have had that win, and now I'm just pulling for him today in the booth, and also Stuart Grattan at the same time. I'm pulling for those two guys to at least end the day in victory lane. Not only that, but also Aaron Walpole a little.
We'll have to see. Now, if we were actually, contracted by Fox, you wouldn't be able to do that, by the way. Well, we don't care. We're not getting paid. We got nothing to lose. So, yeah, you're rooting for those guys. I can't really root for anybody because, I am Napa fan. I do run this series, so people will think that it's rigged. But let me tell you, I have no clue who's going to win this thing. And there's a good chance that number 30 could be in victory lane at Justin Heath. He's running 4th right now. And here we go. Pit stops will begin. Samadeo's going to come down as the leader. Do you want to be the leader once this cycle begins, or do you want to stay out like Walpole did that last time and get that advantage that we seem to be getting here with these guys staying out?
Honestly, I think the better opinion is what Grattan and Walpole are doing right now, and that's staying out a little later, because I saw what Walpole did earlier when he just pitted later, because it gave him the opportunity to be able to get 4 tires, fuel, and he was still able to keep in the lead pack, and he was contending for that win. So seeing what Grattan and Walpole are doing right now, I think it's the better strategy call than what is going to happen. I think Walpole may pull on for another lap, and he will as Grattan hits the pit lane.
So Grattan down, same with Nathan Stapleton. Trey Bartow is still out there. It was Walpole and Bartow the last cycle of green flag pit stops that stayed out the longest. Bartow! Please. Oh, please. I think, oh my goodness, It happened again.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my heart just sunk right there, but I don't know what's going to happen now, because Walpole still has to make a pit stop here. How many people did he lap there? I don't know if he lapped too many guys. I think a lot of the guys who were the leaders are going to stay out and stay on the lead lap here, but this is going to end the race under caution. Walpole's going to try to stay out, but the whole thing is, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the end.
Honestly, I think that's what he's been trying to do this whole time, is stretch it and hope for a caution. Because he's been kind of looking at how the race has gone, and while there were like some green flag stints, he was trying to look for that one last caution run, and had that not been the case, he would have pitted. But it looks like in this case, he might take this win and just steal it out of nowhere.
We'll have to see. It looks like he's going to come down. A lot like the Indianapolis 500, we had Stephen Wilson and Jack Harvey. They were guys who were, they were leading near the end of that race, but they came down with 4 laps to go, and Walpole is, in fact, coming down. The thing is, oh boy, you know what? I don't know. He and Barter are the only 2 guys. They're the only 2 drivers here who have yet to make a pit stop. A lot of those guys you see, they're a lap down. They took pit stops earlier on. Stuart Grattan is shown the next guy in line in the 25. The big question is, will it be Grattan who passes him, or will it be Aaron Walpole? I think Grattan might get it in the 25. We'll have to see. If you're Walpole, you just gotta gas and go. Oh my goodness.
Oh, but
I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's gonna get it. Grattan's gonna pass him. Or is he?
Oh,
We'll have to see. Oh my goodness, it is close. There's Grattan in the 25. I think he's gonna be out ahead here. And I think he will.
oh,
Or
wow.
This is definitely the wackiest race we have ever seen in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, no question about it. It is the white flag, under caution, for either Walpole or Grattan. Walpole officially took the white flag. The question is, did he come off the pit lane ahead of Stuart Grattan, or will Grattan get this victory? In the wackiest of circumstances, he will. It will be Grattan in the number 25. Unbelievable.
Awesome job for Stuart Grattan. Out of nowhere. Honestly, I thought that pitting later would have been the strategy call, but no. What Grattan did, pitting in at least a lap, what Walpole had done, out of nowhere, he just won this race. Out of that sheer closeness. And that is his I give him a round of applause for that. That is a good job. Congrats to you, Stuart Grattan. You just broke the streak, bud.
And for Grattan, this is one that is earned as well. He had run up front all day long, so he is deserving of this victory. It's not really a shock victory considering the rest of the race, but unfortunately, again, the caution came out during green flag pit stops. I tried, but that's the way it goes. Stuart Grattan wins the NRLOA 500 at Michigan. North State Racing with their first win of the season. You still got to hand it to Walpole, though. I mean, he took a shot in the dark with that strategy, and if that thing stayed green, there was a good chance he would not have gotten the win. Nathan Stapleton, William Brock, how about the 40 hair Jalarm Alonzo, Cody Sill, Michael Canto, Trey Bartow with an 8th place run, and the 48 of Roger Ray and Matthew Phillips rounding out the top 10. And the good thing about it is a lot of these guys, those top 4, top 5 you see, they were all running up front before that caution came out. It did not really screw up too many guys, but I mean, I don't understand this, guys. It's just, what do we have to do to get this from happening? I mean, it's happened practically every race so far that we have had pit stops. We had it happen at the Coke 600, where they came down the pit lane near the end. We had it happen in the IndyCar race at Texas on Thursday. We had it happen the first time I tried to do this race, and I didn't like it there. The reason why I'm going to keep it here is because it did not screw the guys who were dominant. I apologize about my way of thinking for this. I tried to avoid this. I don't have time to redo it. I don't know what to do anymore. It's got to stay because I just don't have the time. I'm sorry. Good thing is you guys will never know who won that first race anyway, so
Yeah.
keep it at that.
Yeah.
But for Grattan, this was an earned victory nonetheless, and he stayed out front this entire run, and he was able to get the lead there at the end. Not to say Walpole was not deserving of the victory, but certainly Grattan was in the 25, the way he raced it here today, and with that, I'm okay with this happening, because even if that caution did not come out, Grattan probably still would have won. So it pretty much didn't affect too much. And congratulations to Stuart Grattan for getting the win here. He's been in the series since the very start. I think I've known him longer than anybody else on YouTube, and he's still winning races here. Finally getting another Chick-fil-A Cup Series win, coming in a big race as well. The NRLOA 500. How about that run for the North State Racing driver?
That's an awesome job for Stuart Grattan right there. I really wanted him to pull, or I really was pulling for him the whole kind of race since he took the lead, and I'm happy I made that decision because I knew he had it in him to take the win, and I'm just glad he won. I am.
I think a lot of people are glad he won. Definitely a fan favorite in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and a lot of people enjoy seeing him win there. Decent runs for Garrett Senor and Jay Jefferson. Not the worst of days for those guys, especially Senor. He was running up front earlier on, and Jefferson and Julio Cesar. There were a couple of guys who were running up front there near the end, and you know, realistically, that's probably where they would have finished if this thing stayed green anyway. Now, we don't really have any means of telling, but, I mean, you see Brad Stover 2 laps down. The only way he ended up 2 laps down is because of an issue on the pit lane. You know, that you don't finish 2 laps down like that because you stayed out or came down before everybody else. So I don't think Stover actually had a chance there either way. And I really don't think that with this caution coming out, it really affected how this race would have played out at the end. I mean, everybody came down. Everybody made a pit stop there near the end, including Walpole and Bartow. So it's not like somebody made one less stop in this race and got the victory because of that. Everybody had the same number of stops. I consider that to be fair. I will say the first time we did this, that did not happen necessarily. I mean, it did, but it did not work out the way it worked out here. And, you know, I'm sorry, I should not be talking about it. I should not be saying, yes, we tried to do this and I didn't like the result and I redid it because I didn't like the result. But I think you guys should know at this point that it is getting a little frustrating that we keep on having this happen week after week. And I feel like, and you know, I've said this before, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like it's taken away from the quality of the series. This is the premier series I run here, and for the races to end in screwy ways like this just kind of diminishes the quality, in my opinion. But, like I said, even if that caution did not come out, Grattan probably still would have won. Because he was ahead of Stapleton off the pit lane, he was ahead of all those guys. Walpole and Bartow would have had to come back down. And honestly do believe that pretty much this is how they would have finished, even if it stayed green. I hate it that it happened to mess guys up again. But realistically, it actually didn't mess Stuart Grattan up. He did come down the pit lane before that caution came out and still got the win. So, honestly, I got to apologize to everybody for the races acting like this. I'm trying to work on it. It's tough, but that's just the way it goes. And let's just be happy that we got it in. And we had a decent, fun race. I think this is a great race here. And congratulations to Stuart Grattan on the victory here in the NRLOA 500.
Yeah, it was a really well-deserved victory, but I do hate also for the fact of how this race ended as well. I feel as though ending these races a lot under yellow kind of just deprives it of the chance to show what skills drivers have within these last few laps. I'm not saying the win for Stuart Grattan wasn't deserved. I think it was, but I just think, in my opinion, that, you know, it would have been better had it actually been a little more interesting without this last-minute caution coming out.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and the reason why I don't like the caution is because it happens during the green flag pit stops. If everyone had already made their pit stop and the caution come out, I think I would have been fine with it because, hey, everyone already made their stop, nobody got screwed out of it, but I'm sorry, guys, you know, I'm trying. You gotta think it is very hard for me. I work, and I will be working 2 jobs over the summer, and of course I'll have a college class as well. There is a lot that's going on in my life right now, so this kind of takes a back seat in a way. And I will say, I tried redoing this so this race would come out good for you guys. I care about the quality of this series. I'm trying. And I don't want you guys to get all upset because of this happening, honestly. It's you know, it's frustrating for me. I don't want it to be frustrating for you as it is for me. You know, I should be the one concerned with that, not you. It's just a randomization of the order, basically, each time. The ratings are completely equal for everybody. I guarantee that. I bet my life on that. And, it's just the way it goes, so we'll leave it at that. We'll hope for the best next week, and that's all that we can do here for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. I mean, next week we won't even have pit stops, so we really don't have to worry. We're at Daytona again for the Valvoline 400. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, but anyways, we're going to leave it at that. You know, we tried, and, you know, sorry to the guy who won the initial one. I'm not going to tell you who that is, of course. Hadn't I known this was going to happen, I would have left it. But, you know, it's just the way it goes, and, I'm sorry, I'm trying, guys, but, hey, we're all having fun here, so be thankful we're here, and, pretty good race here, nonetheless. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching and sticking with me here. I'm sorry once again, I gotta stop being like this, you know, this is just me being so apologetic all the time. I shouldn't be like this constantly. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and next race is at Daytona, Valvoline 400. we shouldn't have a problem there. It should be a pretty good race, and hopefully that one will end under green. That one actually hasn't ended under green in a while, I don't think. I think the past two have both ended under caution, so we'll have to see how it all goes down. But still, congratulations to Stuart Gratton. And here are the points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series after 14 races. So thank you guys so much for watching once again. On behalf of Alex Bonsignor, I will see you guys later.
Everybody needs to love and be loved. Hard to believe where we are now. No regrets, I got no regrets. Don't turn around, 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 don't turn around. Counting every minute, every moment we're together. It could be 5 minutes or forever. Second hand on the clock, working, working overtime, working, working, working over. Time stands still when it's you and me together. Time stands still. The world keeps on spinning, it's just the beginning.